Hi everyone, Miranda Powell, owner of Angelic Reiki Light Healing, and today I have my special guest, Franziska Stahmann. Hi Franziska.
Hi Miranda.
And Franziska is an intuitive guide and a creator or the creator of Heaven's Touch Essences, and today we're going to be talking about those essences with Franziska all the way in Australia. So I'm glad we have a clear picture so I can see you really good right now, Franziska.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miranda. It's really awesome having me. It's great to connect with you.
Yes, absolutely. Isn't it funny how video and radio can bring people together so easily, and it feels like you're right here. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So let's talk about vibrational essences. The first thing I want to share with all of you is what an essence is. So vibrational essences are a direct connection with wisdom and the creativity of nature. They touch the soul of our being, so that's what the essences do, and they help us to shift patterns of behavior. And what it basically does is it balances our emotions and our emotional responses. So it really is affecting us on a mental and emotional level. Now, essences are thought, think of it as a liquid consciousness or a liquid pattern of consciousness. And what happens with these types of modalities or these types of spiritual tools is what I call them. The angels tend to work with us through all types of different tools. And the essences that Franziska has created is not an exception to this. So the angels will work with you through these essences to help you bring positive qualities that embody deeper into your own awareness. And this brings transformation and higher awareness. So you can call on them for inspiration, illumination, and guidance while you're taking these essences. And Heaven's Touch Essences, and I can say this full-heartedly because I have used these essences and I know that they help change you. It's life-changing, and it really is a self-journey, and it might be gentle, but it's super duper powerful to help you along your path. And really it's embracing the angelic realm within ourselves. So that's how I look at essences. I'm sure when you created these essences, that's probably not all the things that you thought of, but for me, that's kind of how they, kind of how they come across. So that's what essences are for all of you who don't know. Now, first I'd like to start out with you, Franziska. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself so they can understand maybe where the essence idea came from and a little bit more about who you are.
Okay, great, Miranda. First of all, I'd like to say you explained that really beautiful, actually. Just to know that.
Okay.
So a little bit about me and the way I came to do this is that, I just have to say here that I want to remind people that we often push away these difficult experiences in our life, that we don't want to look at them because we just want it all beautiful and, running smoothly. But, the key element for change and dipping deeper into ourselves and our intuition and where we, our fulfillment lies within these key elements. So it's really important to acknowledge and recognize them, because this is how I actually became to creating this business. I had a very difficult period in my life that went for a few years, but when I allowed myself to look at it more deeply and to change the situation, like make the choice of not wanting to be in that place anymore and transform it for myself. That's when the doors are opened up for me in very big ways, and that when my guidance and my intuition really fine-tune. So this is what I feel I embody in the process of why I have created them, because I want to help people in, realize what is the thing that is holding them back, and being able to shift it to be able to touch them deeper within, their own knowledge, their own healing abilities, and all that's included.
And I have to agree with you on that, because when I've used essences before and different types of essences, and they were fine. I have to be honest with you, and this is me being a little bit more biased, I think, now at this point, because now that I've tried your essences, I can say a few things about them. One, they're high quality, and two, I had more of an experience with your essences than I did with the past 3 brands that I've tried. And it's interesting, and maybe it's because where I am on my spiritual journey, and maybe that door opened easier. I'm really not sure why I had such an experience, but I definitely was able to tap deeper, kind of like what you were saying. It really does go a little bit deeper, and it helps bring forward things that we need to heal, things we need to look at, things we need to make amends with or to settle, so we can move forward. And so I really believe that these essences are that. So when you created these essences, did you really know that that's what they were going to do? Did you have an idea that that's what was going to happen?
I honestly tell you, sometimes when you're on the spiritual path, it's like you get these intuitive nudges, and you just have to trust, and you have to go with what comes to you. It's not all clearly outlined of how it's going to evolve, and it's really like having trust and faith and needing to jump forward. And can I say with what you mentioned there in regards to why you felt it maybe was different or more powerful for you, what I feel probably the difference here lies is that I not just harvest the energies of nature, like flowers and working with crystals and moon energies, but I also bring in angelic guidance, so which is bringing these two together. And also with every essence that I create, it's a little bit that I go through that experience myself first. So I embody what that energy means before I create it, so I deeply understand. I guess maybe to possibly shift it, It's sometimes it's really hard to put it into words in energy terms, because I'm very in tune to the energies around me.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you're saying that, because I wasn't sure what to expect either, and I was a little bit surprised of the reaction, or I guess the effects that I had with these essences, and it was very hard for me to put them in words. I did journal to try to get what was happening to me down on paper, and I was really surprised when I looked back what was actually coming up. And so I really, what you got and what I got are going to be different even if we try the same essence. You're going to have a different reaction than I am. Everybody's different. It depends on our tools in life. It depends on, where we are in our spiritual path. When you first created these essences, was it the angels that came through you, or was it just an intuitive sense that you had to create them?
Well, it's like how it is in life sometimes. There were different experiences that brought the whole thing together. So it just simply started with events popping up that were catching my attention, that I needed to attend to, that was like a form of initiation. Then I bumped into people, then my interest suddenly was sparked about vibrational medicine. And, before that, even that, I started working with different vibrational essences, like Aura Soma was probably the first one I started with, and I was very amazed about the experience that I had from it. So, and that leads you on the path, and then I really felt this urge of needing to create my own and just learning about it, and it sort of came, that's the point when it came into being. I had dreams about the name of the business, so I just felt all these nudges and confirmations that were coming through that was really hard to not acknowledge, really.
When did Archangel Haniel come in? When did you actually find that this angel was coming in and saying, hey, I want to work with you on these?
So it was in the early days of me creating my first essence, and that was the time when I was actually going through a lot of changes. So can I know the first one was the Gateway Keeper essence in my range.
Was that your first one? The Gateway Keeper?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Wow, that's a great one to start out with, isn't it? Opening the doors to everything.
And sorry. So So virtually what was going on for me, I made a big change from a life experience I had that where I felt I was really unhappy in, and I wanted to live a life that was much more fulfilling, was coming from the heart, where I find more happiness. And I had to step through that doorway of leaving that old way behind to stepping into a new way of being. So, and that's when I actually, you know, let's say I moved into a new house and I was walking through the market and I really wanted to find some new artwork for my home, you know?
Yeah.
So and this beautiful picture of Archangel Haniel sort of came across my path, and I put it on my wall, and then I thought, oh, I need to find out about this Archangel. And then I was finding out that she closely works with people that wanting to get more in tune with their intuition and bring through natural healing, natural wisdom.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was these beautiful aha moments surrounding that.
You know, I love Archangel Haniel because she embodies ancient wisdom. She embodies natural healing. I know a lot of Reiki practitioners, energy healers that call on her to help them with their healing. So she really is a very beautiful energy that brings in your intuition. She actually is really that guidance to open up your intuition. So she's definitely, I can see why she came in and started working with you, because that's what she embodies. That everything that, you know, we're talking about in essences is what she embodies as an energy signature of her own. So it's very interesting, isn't it? So,
yes.
So let's talk a little bit about your gateway essence, because I too have tried your gateway essence, and you know, that was, you said that was your first essence, and it was amazing because that really opened the door to all the other essences. So it's a perfect name, I think, for it, because it gave you opportunities, didn't it? It opened you up to kind of your own opportunities. I'm going to tell you, I've used 3 of your essences so far. And the very first essence that I used was my own personal blend. So you did a consult with me, and you picked up energy signature, whatever it was that you picked up from me, and you created this blend, my personal blend called the Light Worker Essence is what you created, and that one was amazing. I have to say that one was amazing. And then I tried your True Love blend, and then I tried your Gateway blend. And so I'm going to, a Gateway Keeper blend. I'm going to kind of go backwards a little bit. The Gateway Keeper was amazing because for me, when I was taking it, I noticed that I started to release thoughts. There was a lot of thoughts. The way I saw things started to fall away. And I no longer saw them in a category. I no longer saw them as, I'm a Capricorn, so everything has to be organized. And even my thoughts are very organized. And I no longer started bunching and grouping things up anymore. I saw everything as blending as one. So I really did see a huge change in the way I started to think about things, the way I started to perceive them, and the way I thought about things. And the more and the further into using this particular essence, I noticed more thoughts started to fall away. And I started to become, for lack of a better term, open-minded, really open-minded. I really started to see the oneness and the vibration of everything really kind of coming together. And, you know, I've become more sensitive in the last few years to Mother Nature. So seeing a tree being torn down, it feels like somebody just hit me in the chest. My heart just breaks. I mean, it is to the point where if I see a tree is broken, even just a branch cut, I cry. It's the most ridiculous thing probably for a lot of people to hear, but I am so connected that I begin to weep. You know, and I noticed that since I've started taking the Gateway, is that everything just became more, one, and everything became more connected. And when it comes to anything on Mother Earth, whether it's for animals, the water, the air, you know, the plants, I become very passionate, and I've become even more passionate. And, you know, I don't know why it's happening, but that's how that essence is affecting me. Is I'm feeling oneness. So that's the door that it's opened for me. So, you know, and I said this before, your essences really, for the people that I know, and even for you, the people that I've talked to that have used them, everything has been different for everybody. I've watched some of your testimonials on your page, and just to see what people are saying about the essences, and everybody's having such profound experiences, but they're very individual, aren't they?
Yeah. That's just like you mentioned. It is depending on the person and where they're at, how much work they have done on themselves, what they might be dealing with within their life. They maybe just have difficulties, while another person is actually quite fine and just wanting to fine-tune their experience.
Yeah.
So, and to mention the Gateway Keeper essence, it works very much on your higher chakras. So from the heart, the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra, all the way up. So it really opens you up to the divine guidance and the flow. So it makes a lot of sense that it for you cut out a bit more of the mind talking away and just allowing a little bit more flow in for these higher energies to kind of come to you. Because what it does for me when I take the Gateway Keeper essence, I get a lot of inspiration pouring into me. I just sit there and I just come up with all these different ideas of what to create and do or how to do it differently. So yeah, it is very different across the board what people, what experience they have.
It's interesting that you say it's for the upper chakras, because then that would make sense with the oneness, that I'm feeling, because that really comes from our upper chakras. It's that it starts from the heart and it moves its way up. And so that was something I didn't know. And so now look what I've just learned even more, that how the Gateway Keeper affected me. So what is your most popular essence right now?
Well, the True Love essence is probably the most popular one, because I guess true love is a bit of a catchy word, isn't it?
Yes,
because I guess so. Deep down we're all
looking for it.
That on some level or the other.
Yeah. That's interesting, because that was one that I used, was the True Love essence. That was one that I tried. And, when we had talked about different essences, and you told me that should be the next one that I tried, and I did. And when I tried it, I thought, gosh, well, when I first got it, I looked at it and said, true love. Well, I have a really great relationship with my husband. So what more is it going to do? Maybe add more passion? What is it going to do, that true love? I was not expecting what I actually got. And what I got was, I started having memories of me as a child, and I started to remember times in my life where my self-esteem was low, and what brought that self-esteem low. And what it allowed me to do was to heal my inner child. I didn't realize it it was crazy. I didn't realize it at the time. I just remember that all these thoughts kept coming up, and memories that I didn't even remember. And I started to journal them. And then what I did is every time I journaled, I'd go back each week and read what I wrote. And I couldn't believe all the things that I let go. And I started to feel better about me. And all the things that used to bother me do not bother me anymore. And it was, you end up learning that you can heal on so many levels, even on a subconscious level, that you don't even realize. And it was kind of what I said earlier. Essences work on a cellular level, doesn't it? It's our memory. So it actually did a lot of inner child work, and I was really surprised by that. Now, since it's your most popular essence, what kind of feedback are you getting on that? I mean, are people finding that it's about themselves? Is it really about loving somebody else? Well, what are they getting from it?
Well, it probably goes into different aspects. Just like you're saying, for you, it was something that you were holding within your childhood area. For other people, it might be that they're going through a bit of a difficulty within their relationship, and they're needing to allow themselves to look at this situation just a little bit differently, like what's going on there. Because it's, I guess as we know, in intimate relationships, sometimes it's so easy to point a finger at the other person. Hey, you're not doing this, or you do this, or or you don't do it. So, but really, in the end, it's a reflection about ourselves and what we need to change within. So this might be a great way for somebody to take a deeper look or get a different perspective of what actually is happening within that dynamic, within the relationship. Also, I can tell you from my own experience, and this, I don't like to promote it as that because it really depends on where you're at. Because the true love essence came about that somebody actually mentioned the name to me, and that actually sparked me creating it. And I was at that time being single. I was hoping for somebody in my life and very deeply could experience that love for one another. So my intent of creating this was just helping myself to love myself on a deeper level so I can open up to somebody else within my life. So when I started taking the true love essence, it actually allowed me to start meeting somebody, because a part of me before was very blocked off through some past hurts from the relationship before, and that I needed to release. So I heard people doing a lot of crying to help them to get out what was sitting in the heart and what was in there keeping the heart really heavy and holding them down. So it's probably the best thing is for the people that are interested, go and hop on my website and have a little bit of a read of what people were saying exactly, or listening, to a video testimonial to get an even better idea.
Yeah, well, let me ask you, with the Gateway Keeper, it affected the chakras from the heart and up. So the true love essence, is it just the heart? Was that the chakra that it really affects? Now, interesting enough, because of how it was healing my inner child, I also felt like it was messing with my solar plexus, because a lot of that self-esteem and that standing in my power started to come together. So I almost feel like those two work together, for me anyway. It felt like that those were the two chakras that it was really, really deeply affecting, to a point that, like you said, I cried. I had to release because I remembered things that I didn't remember, and things, I had to look at things that I didn't even remember at all. So, it was healing. It was very healing, because I think that was the one essence that I did cry through. The others I didn't cry through. That one I did. That one really had an emotional release on me. The other two were more maybe mental. They were more mental releases, where that one was more emotional. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard somebody mentioning too, and that's where it probably, sometimes, it is really an individual thing and where people are at, because I've been told that for one lady, when she took the true love essence, she felt it very much in her sacral chakra. But that's obviously where she needed the healing and the attention, and where she was holding a lot of it, and needed to release. So, I give it a broad idea of what I feel and intuitive pick up about the essence, but it is very much where the person individually needs it, as I said already.
Yeah. But you know what? That true love would make sense that it would be the sacral, because the sacral is also about relationships. So when you're thinking of a true love, I mean, it really could go from the heart even down to the root, if you think about it, because that's where our security comes from, is in our root chakra. So it almost feels like that true love essence is then from the heart down, where the Gateway Keeper is from the heart up. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Well, I do want to talk about my own personal essence. Now, when we had originally talked and I was wanting to learn more about your particular type of essences, you sent me the essence called the Lightworker's Essence. And I thought to myself, okay, well, that's my personal essence. I wonder what I'm going to get out of that, because, I consider myself a light worker for everything that I embody and everything that I encompass within my life. So I thought, okay, well, I wonder what's going to happen with that one. And that was the original one that you made for me. So I did try that one out, and I've got to tell you, I was so surprised, really and truly surprised by my personal essence, because even though I didn't know I needed it, somehow you knew I needed it, because you picked it up, because I know that you're an intuitive guide as well. So intuitively, you picked up on my energy signature or what I was needing within myself. And you do that a lot, right? You can actually sit down with someone and pick up those type of things, correct?
Yes, I do. So I just tune into people's energies, and being a very feely person, feeling a lot of sensations. That's how I feel it within my own body when I feel a person has a block or within their body. So then I can get a clear idea and get some guidance surrounding that, and where then I can formulate a blend for the person.
Well, I gotta say, I really loved the Lightworkers essence, because what I got out of it was I started to remember situations in my life, spiritual ones. Now, these are spiritual ones that weren't as beautiful as my life is right now. It was things where I would say something to a friend about something I can see or what I thought all kids knew, and then I got made fun of, and then I would hear that I'm a witch and, all of those things. And at that time, I didn't understand, so it was very hurtful. And I was suppressing some of my spirituality. And the only time I really was myself was when I was home, because my parents were more accepting, my siblings were more accepting, so I could be myself and I could have my gifts and be okay. But it wasn't until I got a little bit older did I realize that not everybody was like this. And so what I think the Lightworkers essence did was bring those hurts forward and help me look at them and say, well, this was the lesson in it, and it helped you grow, and it helped you be the person that you are. And once I let those things go, which I didn't even know I was holding on to, but once I let those things go, oh my gosh, all these opportunities started showing up. I had this lady, she owns her own magazine. She contacted me and said, I'd love you to write for our magazine. So I ended up writing 2 articles for her magazine, and then other magazine opportunities came up. And then I had some collaborations that started to come together, more classes, more people I started meeting. I started getting larger groups. And then towards the end of using the essence, my radio show opportunity came to me. It was I was blown away. I have to tell you, I was really blown away, because once I released all of those spiritual things that were hurting me that I didn't know I carried, all of a sudden all these wonderful things came in its place. And I understood that the laws of the universe were taking play here, that I had to clear out energetically things that were holding in my DNA or in my on a cellular level. I had to release those things to allow something better to come in or to replace them. So I would say that that's what your essences do. I mean, I don't ever promote anything I don't try. And I won't promote it if I don't believe in it. But I have to tell you, Franziska, I totally believe in these essences because they are amazing. And I'm so excited about trying out some of these other ones, because I am the first person in the United States to actually be carrying your essences and selling them. If anybody wants to actually get their own personal blend or personal essence, that's where they would come and talk to you. And how would they contact you if they wanted to talk to you about getting a personal essence?
Well, they could either contact me through my website, which is heavenstouchessences.com, or they could also check out my Facebook page, The Intuitive Guide, and private message me there, and we can have a chat about what they would like. So these 2 are probably the best options, I guess, to reach me.
Yeah. And I will also, at the bottom of this video, I'm also going to put all your information so they can actually find you. And then, of course, we are going to do, you're going to be my special guest on the next radio show. We did have some glitches. We were planning on doing that, but we did have some glitches. But, 2 continents, it's kind of hard to pull things together sometimes, isn't it? Like, technology is technology. So, but we will get that together. And once we do that, I think that people will have a better understanding of what you offer here. I mean, this is just, for everybody out there, this is just a very small amount of what is really these essences embody. There's so much more to them. And I'm also going to be doing a class with you per Skype. Yeah, you're going to be on Skype, and I'm actually going to do a class, and I'm going to be giving quite a bit of information, and you know, and Franziska here will be talking to the members in the class, so all the participants are super excited about meeting you. So is there anything you'd like to share with us before we end this?
Yeah, I wanted to actually add something in regards when you were sharing the light worker essence, like you were saying, how you need to release some aspects to bring in opportunities, because this is something I find myself every time I'm working with one of my essences that initially there is something to work through, and I want to just say, because sometimes people get nervous, because when it means changing and looking at some situations, I just want to say, don't be afraid to look at things, because it might sound bigger than it is, that you might, you know, as we mentioned before, where you might need to cry. But, you know, life challenges are there no matter what, if you take in the essence or not.
Yeah.
So why not allow yourself to really explore and have a new experience, because you will be amazed by the opportunities that do pop up, like they do every time.
Absolutely. And, you know, really and truly, we've got lots of tools in our toolbox. And that's what I try to put out there and let people find out about people like you. You know, crystals are a great tool in our toolbox, essences, elixirs. I mean, there are so many things out there that can help us on our path or on our journey. Why wouldn't we explore them, and why wouldn't we use them? Maybe not all of them are going to work for us, but we won't find out what works for us unless we try. And, you know, I can only put my experience out there with these essences myself. Talking to you and letting people understand where these essences come from and how they were formulated helps them, I think, a little bit deeper understand that even the angels, even spirit is trying to get in different forms, trying to get this information out so we can take charge of our own healing and grow. Wouldn't you agree that that's what's happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much agreed.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, I want to thank you, Franziska, for being here today. Thank you so much for coming on with me. And I'm sure I'm going to be talking to you soon. And like I said, at the bottom of this video, I will be listing all of Franziska's information if all of you would like to contact her for a personal consultation, or even just to get your personalized blend or your personalized essence. I am Miranda Powell, owner of Angelic Reiki Light Healing, and my special guest is Franziska Stahmann. She is a intuitive guide, or the intuitive guide, is that correct? The intuitive guide. And she's also the creator of Heaven Touch Essences. Thank you so much, Franziska, for being here with me today.
And I want to thank you so much, Amanda, for inviting me and taking the time, you know, to interview me and doing the class with you. I really much appreciate it. And I thank everybody for listening in. And yeah, please, if you like, come over to my Facebook page, The Intuitive Guide. I do weekly readings there too, if you like to get an idea and some guidance for the week.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you, Franziska. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you all again soon. Bye.
Bye.